stakeholders, governments, institutions, universities, enterprises, and of course, all the startup ecosystem. Without further ado, I will pass the word to Mr. Olaf Heinemann, co-founder at CBBC.
Thank you, Fabiola, and welcome to everyone. So before we launch into the very interesting topic of taxes and tax treatment and how the canton views crypto investments, and I wanted to share a few words on our general outlook on the blockchain and crypto landscape for the year and the CBBC priorities for 2021. And then without further ado, we'll pass back to Fabiola and launch into the main topic. What do we expect from CBBC for the year ahead in terms of macro environments? I think the first one, all I need to say is 3 words there on Bitcoin towards mainstream alternative asset class. And the 3 words are BlackRock, MicroStrategy, and PayPal. And already through that, you see what's going on and what's driving this view that we have. On the altcoins and the protocols, there our big picture view is that we expect this year to see much more of a differentiated approach and many more questions asked and many more focus on the real underlying use cases and value add of all of those. And very positive times ahead for the very attractive ones. Startups, if you have an attractive use case, it is a fantastic environment to raise capital. The caveat is you need to show flexibility and resiliency in today's times. With regard to financial world as well as corporates, we see a lot of initial real world test cases and applications being tried out. So we'll watch that space with a lot of interest in terms of adoption in kind of the large cap universe. Obviously, a big topic will be central bank digital currencies and how the governments and regulators throughout the world approach that. Expect developments in the US in the regulatory landscape, and I think something that both us but also the venture capital and financial community in the US will watch very, very closely this year. And finally, no surprise, the impact of COVID both on industry, on consumer behavior, on financial markets, and how that develops, and hence on the startup and blockchain and crypto world as well. In terms of our focus at CBBC, Fabiola, next slide, please. For us, we continue to focus on growing our business in very challenging times. So on the venture capital side, which is our core business, we will run an incubation program for startups in the fall of this year. We are currently looking at new investment opportunities with a focus on applications based on blockchain technology. So if you're a startup and you have an attractive use case, please reach out. We're obviously speaking to investors who find our approach of venture capital into this space attractive and will launch further products this year for them. We will focus, aside from kind of continuing to grow the base in Switzerland, also on further regional growth in Middle East, where we're already present, and how to build that out. And we're looking to do projects in Africa and in Asia. And obviously for CV Labs and Fabiola and the team, finding ways to provide value add and alternative networking opportunities, which, this is one of them in today's virtual world, to the Zurich and Zug and Swiss ecosystem. So that's our focus, and we'll all invite you to join on all those networking efforts. So without further ado, Fabiola, I think it's over to Heinz Tendler, correct?
Yes, thank you very much, Olaf, for this nice introduction. Now I will pass the word to Mr. Heinz Tendler. He is the finance director of the Canton Zug, and he has some news to share with us and with the ecosystem. So Good evening, Mr. Teller.
Good evening. Okay, thank you, Fabiola and Olaf, and also Olaf, thank you for your flexibility, because it's a stressful time now, and that I can start with my speech first about why it is so relevant for the canton to be able to receive payments in crypto. Okay, money today is used to transfer value across time and space in exchange for goods. And the challenge is to manage the transfer in the most efficient way. And history shows that technological innovation has always been important to achieve economic and cultural growth of societies via trade. And today we find ourselves in a globally connected monetary system empowered by central banks, including innovative cashless payment systems and the advent to decentralized blockchain-based crypto payment solutions. And now the Canton of Zug, I think, embraces innovation and has built a favorable framework for fintech and crypto companies. And as a result, we are proud to be the home of the so-called Crypto Valley. And we host an above average number of companies from the fintech and crypto industry in the Canton of Zug. And I think today we are a pioneer of blockchain technology, and are dedicated to continuously promote and simplify also the use of cryptocurrencies in everyday life. And now, one prominent example of our promise to simplify the use of cryptocurrencies in everyday life is the opportunity to pay tax debts with cryptocurrencies. And we are happy, and I also happy to inform you that we have successfully concluded the pilot phase. We had a pilot phase in the last 3-4 months. And the Canton of Zug is now the first canton in which tax debts can be paid with cryptocurrencies. And from February onwards, individuals, and not only individuals, also legal entities can pay taxes in Bitcoin and Ether. And we have implemented the project with the much appreciated support of also Bitcoin Swiss. Bitcoin Swiss is a regulated Swiss financial intermediary based here in Zug. I think you know this. And now the process, taxpayers can inform the tax administration if they wish to pay a tax bill using cryptocurrencies. And the tax administration, our administration, generates an individually created QR code and sends it to the taxpayer by email. And taxpayers can use this QR code to settle the tax debt with Bitcoin or Ether. And it is important to note, this is very important to note, that neither taxpayers nor the Canton of Zug faces volatility and exchange rate risks. Bitcoin Swiss, this is a profitable company here in Zug. Bitcoin Swiss handles cryptocurrencies acceptance, real-time conversion into Swiss francs, and daily payouts to the tax administration of the Canton of Zug. And in early February, the tax administration of our canton will publish the dedicated website where the process also is explained in detail to interested parties. Also, the example of tax payments of the Canton of Zug is just one practical example for adoption of crypto payments, and I'm convinced that adoption of innovative technology for mainstream acceptance is provided for when 3 criteria are given in a market. First, awareness; second, convenience; and third, the regulatory certainty. Voila. That's from my side.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Teller. Without a doubt, this movement from the Canton of Zug is really wise, is innovative, and is in fact the first jurisdiction in the world to accept the payment of the taxes with cryptocurrencies. Do you think this will be a tendency that we will see soon around the world in other countries?
I think so, yes. The year of 2020 has been exceptional in every aspect. The pandemic required governments and central banks around the world to act swiftly to address challenges that business face on the liquidity front, and lots of money was printed. And I think this has brought Bitcoin into the spotlight, and reputable institutional investors have started to invest into cryptocurrencies. As such, cryptocurrencies are slowly becoming an established asset class, and are held in a portfolio both as a potential hedge against future inflation, as well as a bet on a technological development. And the technology behind cryptocurrencies, this is blockchain, has the potential to fundamentally shift how large parts of our financial infrastructure work and how business interact with each other. And I think also Switzerland has been a pioneer with the new digital ledger technology or blockchain technology law that will enable a well-regulated use of the technology in the industry, and globally similar efforts are underway, be it in the European Union, in the US or China. I think this is clear. And so overall, cryptocurrencies have been a driver for innovation around the globe since the start of the Bitcoin blockchain in 2009. And the social impact, I'm sure the social impact of such new infrastructure could be massive, especially in emerging countries. Access to banking services would be significantly simplified, and perhaps, I hope so, perhaps require no more than a smartphone. Yes.
Well, fantastic. And well, thank you very much for taking part in this event. We know like your agenda is quite full these days. But in general, the community is really grateful for the Canton for always being so progressive and open. So thank you very much for the participation and for preparing everything. So from February on, people in Canton of Zug is able to pay their taxes with crypto.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tendler.
Thank you, Fabiola. And I have to leave now the meeting. I'm so sorry, but thank you for your attendance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Well, now, without further ado, we will pass to our next speaker. We invited a really innovative company that, in fact, is based in Canton Zug. Their history is really interesting because they are pioneers doing what they are doing, and they have excelled a lot with this. With the product they are offering. And then we want to hear what is the solution for many people in the space that own big amounts of crypto in different exchanges and how they can consolidate everything to do their tax declarations. So I will pass the word to Mr. Dennis Wolfart. And please, Dennis, tell us a little bit about accounting.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the introduction. So I want to share my screen in order to quickly go through a few things that we built over the last years. So maybe a quick history of why we started accounting and how we came together as a team. So like Fabiola already said, I'm a co-founder of accounting, and we started the company in 2017 or beginning of 2018. It was just a cryptocurrency tracking backend software that we developed for our own needs, because we had the huge problem that we traded on multiple exchanges, had multiple wallets, and had to somehow reconcile the transactions, bring everything together in order to create tax reports for different countries. Our co-founders are from Switzerland, from Germany, and from the US. So we had a problem of like not only being able to report that in Switzerland, and now like Mr. Tendler said, even being able to pay the crypto taxes with Bitcoin and Ethereum. But we had the same problem in Germany, in the US, and in the UK. And so we decided to build a front end for our backend that we just had for the pure tracking and for all the trades and transactions we did. And out of that came accounting. So we have a full support for multiple countries now. You can import all sorts of exchanges. You can connect all sorts of wallets directly through the public blockchain. So you can use the Ethereum address. You can use the direct API connections to Binance and to other exchanges, also to Bitcoin Swiss, in order to bring all the transactions into one place. And this is the platform we built. So you see a front end with the entire history of your holdings. You see the specific positions that you bought. You see the buy and sell amounts and the buy and sell points in the history. You will have a full portfolio overview and an overview of all the exchanges where you hold your cryptos. Same thing here. Full overview of all the exchanges and wallets. I can quickly show an example how you would connect Ethereum. So it's as easy as just importing a public Ethereum address, and we fetch the entire trading history, import everything, connect internal transactions from one wallet to another wallet. So we have in our system, we have an entire setup of the full history of all the movements you did in the past. So you can not only use that in order to create the correct tax output, you can also use that in order to prove how your funds moved through the history. So if you used decentralized exchanges, if you use multiple centralized exchanges and wallets, you will see the entire money flow of your different coins. And that makes it way easier in the end to just prove where you got your money from. And like Fabiola said already, some people now buy houses or bigger cars or have some more money made with crypto that just ended up being like a lot more than probably everyone expected. And so with that, it's obviously there's a big question of where the money came from. So that's possible with our software. And once the import is done, I can show you how to create a tax report. So you can just choose your specific country in the settings. And then you have an overview here of all the different years in the past. You have an overview of the short-term, long-term, and the total fees you spend. I mean, obviously in Switzerland, it's a little bit easier because you basically only have to report the end year balance. But in like in other countries like Germany, you have to pay taxes on short-term gains or some long-term gains are tax-free. It's the same thing in the US. In the UK, they use a method called pooling, which is a little bit more complicated, but we can go into the specifics if someone would be interested in that. And so once you have everything connected with accounting, we create that report, and you will see a full history report with all sorts of classifications in here, country-specific classifications. You have a summary of all the trades, all the short-term disposals for Germany or for the US, all the margin tradings, leverage trading, future trading, all the income you had in crypto. And with that, you have a really easy way to just report the correct amount at the end of the tax season, and also prevent of not having to pay any more taxes that you actually have, because that could be a bigger problem in some countries. Because if you would, for example, have a tax debt of, let's say, 100,000 euros in Germany end of the year, and you hold all your crypto still in your portfolio, you didn't sell it, and then those positions turn into a long-term position, you could get into bigger troubles, because the long-term position would not be subtractable from your taxable gains. So you would end up in a debt if crypto crashes at some point. And with a volatile market like that, that's obviously always a little bit dangerous. So there's different tools in here. Like I said, if we have some more time after the presentations, we can go in every detail and I can answer all sorts of questions. But one really interesting tool, especially for countries like Germany, US, or Austria, is our holding period overview, which shows you when the different holdings that you have, for example, here the Ethereum holding, if you look into the future, so that graph would show you the long-term positions in 365 days from now, and you can figure out at what point which of your holdings turn into a long-term position in order to then save taxes by just holding them maybe for 2 weeks longer when they then turn into a long-term, because it would be tax-free in Germany, for example. So that would be a really quick overview of what accounting offers and how the software looks like. Fabiola, if you have some questions now, we can go into them in details, or we can also do that after the other presentations.
Thank you very much, Dennis. I think for the time being, we will pass the word to our next speakers to explain the situation of taxes in Switzerland. And we will have a panel discussion, and we will literally, we will have all the questions from the audience, because indeed right now we have a live chat in YouTube, in our YouTube channel, and there are already plenty of questions. And I'm pretty sure, like with the participation of three experts, the conversation will be more rich. So now let's pass to the presentation of FINIAC. We are really fortunate to have with us some of the leading experts, I will say, in the canton and in Swiss taxes. We have Mr. Albert Blattmann. He is a certified accountant and tax advisor, and as well Mr. Remo Merst, as well certified tax expert at FINIAC. Please, I will stop sharing, and then we can hear about the situation of taxes for individuals and payments with crypto in Switzerland. Albert.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much giving us the opportunity talking tonight to all of you. Just a some little words about our company. As you already mentioned, we are a Zug-based company, FINIAC Treuhand, FINIAC Tax. We have offices in Zug and in Zurich and in Schweiz since a year. And we do accounting, taxes, and payroll. That's what we do. And yeah, we also have a lot of clients, as Zug is very well known for the whole blockchain and cryptocurrency. We have a lot of clients, private clients, but also company clients in this sector. We have about 35 employees, and as I said, offices in Zug and Zurich. We are a network partner with CV Labs, and we do a lot of blockchain and taxes. We have a team of 4 people for the moment. Looks like we're going to increase it on 1 person in spring, summer, and they are used to deal in this field. Maybe important for all of you and especially for people that will come to Switzerland or came to Switzerland maybe last year and will file the first tax return this year, or it's very important to give a little overview how taxation rules in Switzerland are, what has to be filed, what are the impacts, and I think that's the idea of tonight. So maybe the most important thing is the difference between Switzerland and most other places worldwide in taxation for individuals. Income tax normally is taxed worldwide. Switzerland is not taxing capital gains. There are some exemptions. I will explain those later. That's the difference to most other places. And wealth, there is a wealth tax. So every individual has to file yearly its tax return and has not only to show income and deductions, but also wealth. And that's a huge difference to most other places worldwide. And many people coming to Switzerland are not used and not prepared to file also the wealth in their tax returns. Maybe a little overview. What has to be taxed? I mean, we, as you live in Switzerland and you're tax resident, then you always have to file and to deliver to tax authorities your worldwide income. And this is something we see often, that people are not understanding what means worldwide income. It also means if you have, for an example, real estate abroad, and this real estate is rented out, and you have some rental income, this has to be declared in Switzerland, even if this is maybe taxed in Italy or the UK. And also income, interests, dividends, even if the bank account is abroad in the Netherlands, in the UK, this has to be showed in your tax return. Same for worldwide assets. You have to declare in Switzerland your assets, your wealth. It means banks, accounts, cars, participations, real estate, cryptocurrency, wallets, whatever it means. And also most likely real estate abroad. Again, even if this real estate is taxed abroad, it has to be showed in Switzerland. Most likely it will not be taxed in Switzerland, but it will be taken into account for the tax rate. So that's a huge difference to most other places, that you have to show everything, worldwide income and worldwide assets, wealth. Maybe some words to taxes and blockchain, trading cryptocurrencies and tokens, wealth tax implications, mining income. This is maybe what you expect tonight to hear from us. As I said in the beginning, normally capital gains in Switzerland are not taxed for individuals. It means you bought maybe a painting from an artist, and 5 years later you're going to sell it, and the price tripled or whatever. This is not taxed. And the same is if you buy shares, you invest in shares, and after a while, 1 year, 2 years later, you sell the shares. This is not taxed, but there are exemptions. And this is maybe something that is very important. If you do a lot of trading and a lot of turnovers, and this is what often happens, and we see it often with clients in cryptos, they do a lot of transactions, then you could be treated as a professional. And as a professional, it means that this is a self-employment income that will be taxed, and there is also Social Security to be paid on the income. And there is like a safe haven rules. It means if you play these rules, then tax authority will not treat you as a professional. And this means that the holdings of your cryptos should be held at least for 6 months. I know that's quite a long period, but this is something you should really check, and this is something accounting, as we saw before, can deliver if you use this software. Then tax authority is also checking the transactions, the volume. If the volume is more than 5 times the opening balance, this can be treated as professional. So you should take care on that. Then the earning on capital gains, if you need these earnings to live your life, and this is more than 50% of your net income, this is a problem. Then also the financing. If you finance this and you're gonna leverage it, this can be a really problem for tax authorities. Using derivatives, options, this is also something that can be reviewed by tax authorities. So if you follow these rules, then I think you will be tax free and you don't have taxable capital gains. If not, then this could be a problem. Then the Declaration of Cryptocurrencies. I mean, if you buy cryptocurrencies and you own cryptocurrencies, then those have to be showed in your yearly tax return, and they have to be valued at the market price. And federal tax authorities is providing a yearly publication showing I think now about 20 cryptos, showing the taxable price you have to use at the end of the year for your holdings. If your asset is not showed in this publication, then you can use the market price on a recognized rating platform like Coin Market as an example. And if even there is no market price, then you should always show it at the original purchase price. It means the price you bought your cryptos. And this is for the wealth tax at the end of each calendar year. It has to be showed. Then maybe a word for mining income. If you do mining, then this is treated as an income, regardless of the size. And if this is treated as income, then it means that you pay income tax at the place you live, at the canton you live. And there is also social security to be paid. And we had last year, maybe just to give you a little example, we had questions from clients about Polkadot. We had clients investing in Polkadots, and just to give you maybe an idea about the problems we have there, and maybe you also do invest there. There are validators and there are nominators, and if you deal in this as a nominator, as a validator, this will be treated most likely like a mining income, and you will be subject to income tax and social security. And if you act as a nominator, we think that this will not be treated as a professional income, and the income will be taxed, but as a private tax, it means that it has to be showed in your tax return as an income, but there will be no social security on that. And if later you sell any of these investments, it will be treated as tax-free capital gain. As a validator, it will be different, because the funds are not private funds anymore; they are professional funds. And if you sell it, you will be taxed, and this is not subject to tax-free capital gain. So this is just a little problem we saw last year with cryptos, and there are many of those. There are many of those, and needs to be checked from the tax point of view. Yes, this is I think my little overview about taxes in Switzerland. I think maybe we can answer the questions later. Or
excellent. Thank you very much, Albert. I think right now the presentations are finished, and we can pass to a small panel of discussion and Q&A section. Please let me share. So let's start talking to all the experts, because certainly there is a lot. There are a lot of questions. I will start with accounting, and Dennis, many people are trading in multiple exchanges.
Mhm.
They potentially have hundreds of trades in each platform. It is possible to track and consolidate past transactions, or when the tracking start counting, in the moment people register to the platform, or they can track historical data.
So yeah, so for most exchanges, we allow to import the entire history of the trades. That obviously depends if the exchange stores that sort of information. There are a few exchanges that don't store data longer than 3 months. And it's sometimes really hard to get to this information. For that, we have some reconciliation functionalities inside of accounting, but that's obviously not ideal. But for, I would say, 95% of the exchanges, we get the entire history. And for blockchain wallets, we get the full history, always, because that's just how the system works.
Okay, thank you. Well, this is a kind of the same question. Does accounting read all historical transactions?
Yep.
Cool. Can I track staking income using accounting?
Yes, that works. So if you, for example, stake on Kraken, or you stake on your own wallet, or like you have your own node, you can just connect the address with accounting, and we mark the transactions that come in from staking as staking income. And you will see like the full overview of your staking income and mining income in the tax reports for the specific countries. So that's fully automated.
Okay, one more question. Does it read, does accounting read margin trading futures?
Yes, it does. So we have, for example, BitMEX integrated, or Kraken futures, and you can just import that automatically. For Binance futures, it currently is a little bit limited because of Binance's functionalities. They don't allow you to export more than 30 days. So there it definitely makes sense to connect it when you start trading futures. If you do that, you have the full history in accounting, and hopefully they will activate that again in the next weeks. A lot of the exchanges, especially now in that run and like in the rising Bitcoin price, had to turn off some of the export functions, or at least restrict them, because they had too much load on their servers. So, but yeah, in theory, all the margin and future tradings work with accounting.
Fantastic. And now I will ask some questions to Finiak. Remo or Albert, many people in the space here in Switzerland trade crypto on a regular basis. Can you please let us know when an individual can fall in the category of professional securities trader?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Fabiola. And obviously, probably one of the most thrilling questions in this regard. So as you have seen on one of the slides presented by Albert, that there are safe haven rules, but they only offer legal certainty that you're not qualifying as a professional securities dealer. But as you have seen, based on those rules, I would say that for most of us, also trading with cryptos stays within our private assets management sphere. And if you cannot fulfill all the safe haven rules, then it really is a case-by-case assessment. So, which means that there is no clear guidance when someone qualifies as a professional securities dealer. But based on case law, there are some facts which speak for or against such a qualification. And some of those facts can be derived from the safe haven rules we have seen. So the facts are the amount of the transaction volume in terms of numbers and trades and in the short-term holding period. Then there is the substantial use of external funds, as well as use of derivatives, not only for hedging. And there are also two facts which are of minor importance, which is systematic and planned approach and the close connection to your job. So there is no black and white, and really is a case-by-case assessment. And it's very important to understand that basically only one trade could lead to the qualification as professional securities dealer, especially in case the realized capital gain is material.
Maybe one little word. You know, you have to file every year a tax return, and tax authorities will see your wealth at the beginning of the tax period and at the end of the tax period. It means, let's say, if you had a huge growth in wealth, assuming you had a growth of 200, but your income was only 50. So you had an increase of wealth by 150, and which is not possible by earning 50. So the growth came from somewhere, and this will be requested by tax authority. Maybe where came this growth from? And there at latest at this moment you have to explain where your wealth increase came from. And this will be the time when you have to show what happened with your wealth, and tax authority will understand what happened and then decide what it was. If this was one share that became 500 times more than it was at the beginning, that's fine. But if you did trading, then we start at the place that Remo mentioned.
Okay, somebody from the question is asking if you can develop on what is realized gains is material. If you can explain this, what the realized gain is material.
So what material means?
The realized, you say, well, let's see.
Sorry, I can see it. Yeah, thanks.
The realized gain is when the realized gain is material.
So I would say we're not only talking about a couple of thousands. I would say material especially means also in relation to your regular salary you earn from your job.
Okay.
So material in terms of your total income as well as your wealth.
I see. Yes, well, I think you have already developed about the consequences of being qualified as a professional security trader. I don't know if you have something else to add regarding about the implications of falling into this category.
Well, I think I would be happy to add something here. As Albert already said, you're assessed then as self-employed, which means that your profit becomes subject to income tax as well as social security contribution. But on the other hand, losses will then also be deductible and can be carried forward for 7 tax years. So that's why sometimes it's a bit the reason that tax authorities are hesitant to assess you as a professional securities traders, because they know that one day you're incurring losses, you will be able to deduct them from your taxable income.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Remo. Like somebody, I think, in the audience already identified himself as a professional trader. And I don't know if there is any special advice for people coming into this category. I could say that a good piece of advice will be to approach FINIAC and ask you for going further in details, because I guess, I mean, once a person have fall into this category, things needs to be treated into one cases. I don't know, you will have any general advice for anybody falling into this category on how to avoid.
I think it has to be checked individually, but there are two possibilities. In general, you do it as an individual and you are treated as as a self-employed and taxed and social security, or you switch the business to a company, to a Swiss company, and then the income, the trades will be done in a company, and then there is a different taxation situation. But this needs to be checked individually. What possibilities are there to solve this, or to organize the whole trading.
Great. Thank you very much, Albert, for the reply. There is one more question here. I guess it was already replied, but still, are crypto assets subject to the Swiss wealth tax?
Yes, as I mentioned before, every Swiss taxpayer has to file at the end of each calendar year a tax return, and tax return means you have to file income deductions and your wealth. Your wealth are bank accounts, participations, shares, cars, yeah, and cryptos. Yeah, it doesn't matter if the wallets are in Switzerland, in Denmark, doesn't matter. Your worldwide wealth has to be showed in your tax return. Yeah.
Thank you, Albert. Okay, I will pass with one question for accounting. Somebody from the audience said he was able to find in the platform Coinbase and maybe other crypto exchanges. But what happens when the crypto is stored on his wallet?
Yeah, so when he has it on his wallet, he can just import the public address to accounting, and we can read the transfer history through that. And if he has it on an exchange that we don't support, or an exchange that doesn't offer an export file, he can always ask the exchange directly for a CSV export of all his transactions, and then import it through our manual template. So we have a full manual template that you can use to just import everything you have. It's an Excel file. You just put in all the trades and transfers and upload it to accounting. And with that, you have those informations then as well in accounting.
There is a question about where is the data stored. I don't know if you can develop a little bit regarding this.
Yeah. So I saw a few questions regarding that and overall security of the data. So first of all, we don't allow trading access API keys. I think that's one big security task here. Then we store the information in an encrypted database, and the trades and transfers, and especially the API keys, also the read-only API keys, are also again encrypted with the user's password. So not even our developers have access to that. And if you export data from accounting, you will only export the transaction history. You can never, once you enter the API key into accounting, you cannot export it again because it's then fully encrypted, and that's just not possible. So if you want, you can delete that, and we delete that from the system. But if you need to get another API key for some other tools or for some other purposes, you would need to create a second one in the exchange. So that's with that fully encrypted. Plus, if someone is not willing to share any sort of personal information, you can just create an account with accounting without any KYC, without any personal information. Just use a fake email address and a password, and that's it.
Thank you, Dennis. One more user is asking if accounting is covered in the Netherlands.
So at the moment, we do not cover the Netherlands. We have an international export where you can choose all the different calculation methods, FIFO, LIFO, multiple depot, single depot, the UK pooling, and all of this. The problem with the Netherlands is that they reset the cost basis at beginning of January every year. So you would have to do that manually in accounting in order to have the correct tax reports for the Netherlands. If there's if there's some more detailed questions of how to do that, please just contact me through our chat or info@accounting.com, and we can help with that.
Okay, so then you take into do you take into account the local tax regulations to generate reports in accounting?
So for the Netherlands, we do not have the local regulations because we do not have the Netherlands specific report. For all the other countries, we have the local regulations, and all the classifications are based, and like the classification treatments are based on the local regulations, but only for the ones that we have fully supported.
Fantastic. And Switzerland is among them. So
Yeah, of course.
certainly the Crypto Valley, everybody that needs to generate the report here in the Crypto Valley is fit to do it with accounting.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I have a question. I think this will go to Albert or Remo. How to declare tokens from an ICO which are not yet listed anywhere?
I think then when we remember back on one of the slides, then you should declare the original purchase price.
Okay, fantastic.
You know, maybe very important, showing the tokens, showing I have, I don't know, 250 tokens, name the tokens and the price you paid. And if tax authority is thinking that the price is wrong, then they will correct it, and you still have then a period to talk to them and to agree or not agree. But very important, showing all your holdings, and even if the price is the wrong price you use, this is not the problem. But not showing your assets, that's the problem.
Great. Thank you very much, Albert. And maybe, I don't know, Dennis, maybe you have a solution for this. What about Ethereum 2.0 staking rewards? They are locked for at least 2 years, so you don't have any access to the rewards and the staked amount. How to treat this?
Yeah, so we, for example, if you have those at Kraken and you stake your Ethereum in the Kraken exchange, we can track it. It obviously is not possible to access these funds, and you will not be able to move them, but you will see the incoming transactions into accounting.
Okay. Let's see. And maybe this is for Albert and Remo. Is there any tax legislation for non-fungible tokens? How are they treating in regards of VAT? When, for example, somebody buys an artwork on a platform like Super Rare. Super Rare is a platform that trades digital art, and a non-fungible token is basically that, buying buying a piece of art on the blockchain. Do you have a solution for this? Is there any special treatment regarding VAT, or?
I'm not the VAT guy actually, but we have. I'm not sure if I understood the questions really. But if a company is using utility tokens or is providing utility tokens or providing tokens, this is an issue that has to be checked from the VAT point of view. Yes, so there are tokens that are subject to VAT, but as an individual, if you hold such a token and you sell such a token, this normally should not be subject to VAT. For a company, that's different.
Okay, well,
I'm not really specialized in VAT questions, but it's something that has to be checked, but most likely not for individuals, but for companies, as long as you're not a professional trader, then it's another question again.
okay, fantastic. And Dennis, do you have any comments or inputs regarding non-fungible tokens?
So if you buy them with an Ethereum transaction, for example, you can just mark the transaction as a payment in accounting, and you will see at least the price, and you can mark it in the comments section that what you paid for them. We currently do not track NFTs in accounting because we just don't have the price source for those tokens. So we disabled those tokens at the moment. If that becomes more if that becomes a bigger thing in the future, which I think it does, we will definitely add that support.
Okay, perfect. There is a question here, it's really specific for accounting. What are your plans for the future of your tax tool? Let us know what are you planning? It sounds quite exciting.
Yeah. So we started to build accounting with the tax purpose because it's just the biggest need in the market, and we assume that this is becoming a bigger topic in the next years, and it already did. So I think 2021 now is a really important year for us on the tax side. We have way more features besides the taxes currently in planning, and we are already working and implementing them. We will release a few more updates on that in the next 2 weeks. So that goes more into the portfolio, performance analysis parts, and all of more insights into your trading, and especially also more content in terms of trading insights, all sorts of markets movements. But obviously for us, the biggest or the main business model until now was taxes and tax reports, because it's just like I said, it's a big need. But if there's some interest from some users, we can definitely hop on a call and discuss that in private. We're gonna release a few things in the next 2 weeks, so I don't want to spoil that now.
That's really interesting. There is a follow-up question. Yeah, do you still need to pay income tax on Ethereum 2.0 rewards if you cannot access the rewards yet?
I guess that's more a question for Albert and Remo.
It means the rewards are blocked for a certain time?
Yes, they are locked.
They're blocked for an uncertain time until Ethereum 2.0 is released, and they don't have a real price, I guess, at the moment. So it's not that easy to answer.
I mean, first question would be, what is your situation? Are you a company, a professional, or are you a private person? This is the first question. That I would say, as a professional or as a company, you don't have to show it, or it's an unrealized income. Then I assume it can be. It doesn't has to be taxed on the company level. If you're a private person, we need to see the details. It's possible that it's taxed, but I don't know it really. I need to see the details there. I never saw such a reward yet. Normally rewards are income.
Fantastic. There is a question here for Remo or for Albert. What is the typical network of individuals who have access to the Pauschalbesteuerung?
Not that bad, your German. Well, I do not consider myself a specialist regarding Pauschalbesteuerung or lump sum taxation, but as far as I know, it's not really connected to the net worth you have. So it's more about you're not Swiss and you're not allowed to work in Switzerland or be employed by a Swiss company. And even though I would say most of the people are rather wealthy, you can we have access to the Pauschalbesteuerung. Is not really connected to net worth. And decisive then for your taxation will be your really living costs for you and your family. And then if you connect it with the crypto, so I would say it doesn't work, because if you're coming to Switzerland and will try to have access to the Pauschalbesteuerung and trade with crypto in Switzerland, I would assume that you're not allowed to be taxed as a Pauschalbesteuerter in Switzerland.
Okay. There is one more question that is coming back to the non-fungible tokens. Let's see. If the non-fungible tokens are really representing legal ownership in a specific assets, the tax treatment is the same as for the respective asset? Let's say that this non-fungible token is representing a painting or something like this. Any comments on this?
Can you repeat the question? If a token?
If the non-fungible token,
yes,
is representing, if the non-fungible tokens are really representing legal ownership in specific assets, the tax treatment is the same as. No, I think this is a statement rather than a question.
Okay.
Statement is the same as for the respective asset. Okay, so I think these are all the questions we have now from the audience. I don't know if there is anything that you would like to add to this discussion. Anything that you consider that our audience needs to know?
Maybe just one little thing. I'm really proud that the canton of Zug is using cryptos to pay off the taxes. That's really a good thing. Just for you, if you pay your tax bill with cryptocurrencies, don't forget to show the wallets in your tax return. Not paying from a wallet you did not show in your wealth tax and in your tax return. So that's just something I was thinking when this was explained. So show your wallets and then you're fine.
Awesome. Any piece of advice from your side, Remo?
Well, as we already did a couple of times now in the last 1 hour, it's all about the fear of qualifying as a professional securities trader. So just feel free to contact us if you fear to qualify as a professional securities dealer, and then we are happy to analyze your case.
Fantastic. Dennis, anything you would like to add, share with the audience?
Yeah, so in terms of the tracking aspect in general, if you have like multiple exchanges and there's always a risk that the exchange at some point goes down, they go bankrupt or they close their system and your trades get lost, it makes the most sense if you just connect that with accounting, because it's completely, like, the tracking part is completely free. So you can just set up an account, track the trades and transactions in accounting, and let it run for a year. Even if you don't need a tax report, at least you have all the records in place. So that's why we decided to make that tracking functionality completely free.
Fantastic. So tracking functionality is completely free. So good, really good to remember. And there was a question, like obviously the exchanges that are, let's say, bigger and more famous are considered or are part of the platform. What happens with some small ones, or maybe not too well known, that are not in the platform? Can people ask to integrate them, or how it works?
Yeah, we have a system where you can request exchanges and then you vote for the next integration, so that we just have a community-based voting for what we should import as the next thing. For all the others that are not supported yet, like I said before, you can just use the manual import file. But we're happy to integrate more and more exchanges. Just put it in the request and we're gonna add that over the next weeks.
Fantastic. So, well, we are more than grateful with all of you for the generosity, because in reality you prepared fantastic presentations and you have been really generous with the time to share with the audience. So thank you to all of you for sharing today. And the video will be available at the CV Labs YouTube channel, so people can watch again and follow up in things that are relevant for you. If you need you need further advice, feel free to reach out to FINIAC and to Accounting. Both companies are SUC-based, and they are quite open, I mean, in terms of supporting the community. So if you need their contact details, reach out to us directly, and then we will we will refer them to you. So thank you very, very much for today's event. It has been a great success. I have to say, this is one of the events that had more traction in terms of audience. A lot of people were looking forward for this. So thanks to all of you, and I wish you an excellent continuation for this year 2021, and all the best for our industry that is going really, really well. And thanks to everybody. So I will see all the audience in our next event. We are planning to do something on again on taxes, but this time paying taxes on crypto for corporations. So please stay tuned. Please stay good, stay safe, and see you next time. Ciao.